Welcome, beautiful Sigma ladies. The wrong love can feel like gravity. It keeps you grounded, but only because it's holding you down. Here's something the movies don't tell you. Statistically, most people spend more years of their life in mismatched relationships than they do in ones that actually help them grow. And for the Sigma female, that mismatch isn't just a bad romance. It's a silent career assassination. Because while others can survive on love as the destination, you're wired for something far more dangerous. Love is the fuel. Your mission is the backbone of your life. The reason you wake up, the fire that makes your heartbeat sound like marching orders. And any relationship that doesn't feed that fire isn't just a distraction. It's sabotage in disguise. You've probably felt it before. The subtle ways the wrong person slows you down. How there, why are you always so busy, is code for, I want you to make me your mission instead. How they think your independence is cute at first, until they realize it means they can't control you. But here's the twist most people won't see coming. There is a rare kind of love that won't compete with your mission. It will align with it. It won't ask you to put down your sword to hold their hand. It will sharpen it with you. It will feel less like a romantic subplot and more like an expansion pack to your destiny. And when it comes, it won't look like the fairy tales, the rom-coms, or the perfect couple Instagram posts. It will look like two forces meeting on the same battlefield, exchanging a knowing glance and saying without words, let's win this together. This is not the love that makes you smaller to fit someone's comfort zone. This is the love that makes your mission unstoppable. Number 1. They'll realize that your love is a strategic asset, not a prize to flaunt. When a Sigma female truly loves, it's never just romantic energy to post about or show off. It's not a shiny accessory to her lifestyle, and it's definitely not something she gives out freely to boost someone's ego. Her love is a highly strategic resource. It's a force that strengthens the core of whoever receives it, amplifies their ambitions, and in many cases, changes the entire direction of their life. That's why the wrong people can't handle it. It's too potent to be wasted on shallow intentions. For most, love is validation. It's a symbol that they've been chosen, that they've won someone's attention. They treat it like a medal they can wear in public, hoping it elevates their social standing. But with a Sigma female, it's not about trophies, titles, or proving something to the outside world. If you're in her life, it's because she's identified that you add value to her mission and she adds value to yours. She's not building a relationship to be seen. She's building it to build something greater than either of you alone. The power in her love is that it's deeply tied to purpose. She doesn't love you just because you're attractive, charming, or exciting. She loves you because you're aligned. You understand her pace, her independence, and her vision, and you can move with her without slowing her down. In her world, love that doesn't serve a purpose beyond emotional comfort is fragile. But love that feeds a mission is unshakable. This is why she's careful with it. She knows once she invests, she's not just giving affection. She's giving strategy, energy, and access to her mind. She will think about how to protect you, push you forward, and guard your vision as fiercely as her own. That's the real reason her love is rare. It's not something you get by chance. It's something you earn by being a true partner in action, not just in words. And when someone finally receives it, they realize it's not about ownership or status. It's about becoming part of a power dynamic that strengthens both people. Her love is not a prize to flaunt. It's the ultimate advantage in building a life that actually matters. Number 2, your standards won't scare them. They'll excite them. When a Sigma female sets standards, they aren't arbitrary or superficial. They're a reflection of her values, her mission, and the level of energy she refuses to compromise. She doesn't lower her expectations to make anyone comfortable, and she doesn't use them to intimidate or control. For the right person, those standards aren't a wall, they're a challenge that excites them, a map showing exactly where they can grow if they want to be in her orbit. The right partner sees her boundaries and high expectations and doesn't flinch. They understand that she isn't trying to criticize them or make them feel small. She's simply refusing to settle for mediocrity in herself or in the people she allows close. Meeting her standards requires focus, discipline, and integrity, and someone who is truly aligned with her mission will recognize that as an opportunity, not a threat. They get that being with her isn't about passing a test or performing for validation. It's about matching the energy, vision, and intensity she lives by every day. Her standards create clarity, eliminating anyone who isn't ready or capable of keeping up, and inviting only those who are willing to rise to the challenge. Instead of resentment, they feel motivation. Instead of pressure, they feel inspiration. Her expectations become a mirror that reflects their potential at its best. And because they respect her enough to meet her standards voluntarily, the relationship evolves naturally, fueled by mutual growth rather than compromise or power struggles. Ultimately, her standards aren't barriers. They're accelerators. The right person doesn't just survive them. They thrive because they see in her standards the roadmap to becoming the person they were meant to be alongside her. Meeting her expectations doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like being unlocked, elevated, and finally aligned with someone who matches them in every essential way. Number 3, they'll protect you without owning you. When a Sigma female allows someone close, protection doesn't come wrapped in control. The right person understands the difference between caring deeply and trying to possess her. They'll step up when challenges arise, shield her from unnecessary harm, and stand beside her in moments of chaos. But they won't attempt to dictate her choices, limit her freedom, or confine her to their version of safety. They recognize that her autonomy is not a flaw to fix or a vulnerability to guard obsessively. Her independence is part of her power, and the right person will honor that, even as they provide support. Protecting her doesn't mean creating boundaries she can't cross. It means creating space where she can operate fully while knowing she has someone dependable in her corner. This kind of protection is quiet, unassuming, and consistent. It doesn't show off or demand recognition. They won't patrol her life to make sure she stays safe. They simply ensure that when danger or disruption comes, they are ready to act. There's no ownership in it because they understand that love and respect are not about control. They're about commitment and alignment. They'll advocate for her, defend her reputation if necessary, and keep her supported, but always with respect for her choices, her pace, and her mission. There's no jealousy, no unnecessary interference, no attempt to cage her energy or dictate her path. In essence, they become a fortress without walls, a presence that shields rather than restricts. They are solid, reliable, and trustworthy, yet they remain outside of her boundaries, never crossing them, never becoming her master. For a Sigma female, this is rare because most people confuse love with possession. The right person protects, stands firm, and elevates her without ever trying to contain the force of her independence. That's the kind of protection that truly matters. It's freedom wrapped in loyalty, strength paired with respect, and love expressed without chains. Number 4, they'll understand your loyalty is conditional and earn it anyway. A Sigma female's loyalty is never automatic. It's not a default setting that switches on the moment someone enters her life. Instead, it's earned, maintained, and constantly evaluated. She doesn't give allegiance blindly, and she doesn't reward empty promises or shallow gestures. Her loyalty is tied directly to respect, integrity, and alignment with her vision and values. The right person understands this instinctively. They don't take her conditional loyalty as a challenge to manipulate or a flaw to fix. Instead, they see it as a clear signal. If they want to be part of her world, they have to show up consistently, act with integrity, and treat her mission and autonomy as equally important as their own. It's not about grand declarations. It's about steady, reliable action over time. They recognize that earning her loyalty is not a one-time achievement, but an ongoing responsibility. Every decision they make, every interaction they have with her, every moment of respect or disregard either strengthens or erodes that trust. They understand that she doesn't operate on emotions alone. She observes patterns, intentions, and results. Loyalty from a Sigma female is a reflection of consistent alignment, not a sentimental reaction. Instead of feeling burdened or restricted by this, the right person is motivated by it. They embrace the challenge because it keeps the relationship grounded in authenticity and purpose. They know that her loyalty isn't a given, but when earned, it's absolute, unwavering, and transformative. Being with a Sigma female means that loyalty is never cheap, but it's profound, enduring, and mutually empowering. The person who understands this doesn't just survive in her world, they thrive because earning her trust and commitment elevates both of them. In her eyes, loyalty is not a favor. It's the currency of real connection, and only those willing to earn it are truly worthy of it. Number 5. They'll make you feel understood without trying to fix you. A Sigma female doesn't need someone to swoop in and fix her. She's not broken, incomplete, or in need of repair. Her mind, her emotions, her quirks, and even her intensity are all intentional parts of who she is. The right person sees that and treats it with reverence instead of alarm. They don't approach her life with a toolbox, trying to adjust pieces to make her conform to their idea of normal. They approach her with curiosity, patience, and genuine understanding. They listen without judgment, observe without interference, and respond without trying to reshape her. Every habit, every pattern, every boundary she has is acknowledged as deliberate, not defective. They recognize that her strength and her shadows coexist perfectly, and instead of trying to eliminate the shadows, they respect the balance that allows her brilliance to shine. This kind of understanding is rare because most people assume connection requires molding someone to fit a mutual comfort zone. The right partner doesn't assume she needs improvement. They meet her exactly where she is, validating her experiences, her choices, and her mission. That validation isn't passive, it's active recognition that she is already complete, that the edges she's set are intentional, and that her depth is something to honor, not correct. When a Sigma female feels this kind of acceptance, it builds a profound trust. She doesn't feel pressured to explain herself endlessly or to soften her edges for approval. Instead, she can operate freely, fully herself, knowing someone is standing beside her who genuinely understands her without needing to change her. The right partner elevates her by acknowledging her completeness. They enhance her life not by filling gaps, but by amplifying her strengths and complementing her vision. They see her as a full, deliberate picture, intense, intricate, and unapologetically whole. And their respect for that is what turns connection into something rare, powerful, and unshakable. Number 6. Your purpose won't be treated as a side hobby. A Sigma female's purpose isn't a hobby, a pastime, or a convenience she pulls out when time allows. It's the driving force behind her life, the axis around which everything else rotates. The right person recognizes that immediately. They don't see her goals and ambitions as optional extras, as things to fit around dinner plans or weekend trips. They don't diminish her mission into something cute or manageable, just to make themselves feel more comfortable or important. Instead, they treat her purpose with the same seriousness she does. They understand that her work, her vision, and her relentless pursuit of growth are non-negotiable. Being aligned with her doesn't mean competing with her or forcing her to compromise. It means respecting, supporting, and sometimes even participating in that mission without trying to steer it toward their convenience. This kind of alignment is rare because most people expect relationships to revolve around mutual comfort zones, not mutual expansion. The right partner doesn't view her drive as a threat to their time or ego. They see it as a force worth engaging with. They know that if they want to be part of her world, they have to step up to a level that honors her intensity, her discipline, and her vision. They won't attempt to redirect her energy into trivial pursuits or make her feel guilty for dedicating herself to her goals. Instead, they become a stabilizing presence, someone who amplifies her efforts, protects her focus, and celebrates her achievements without asking for equal attention in return. For a Sigma female, this is a game changer. Having someone in her life who respects her purpose as central, not optional, means she can operate at full capacity without compromise. Her energy remains undiluted, her vision remains uncompromised, and her loyalty deepens towards someone who understands that her mission isn't negotiable, it's sacred. This kind of respect is rare, and when it exists, it doesn't just support her life, it transforms it. Number 7. They'll see your emotional distance as strategic, not broken. A Sigma female doesn't hand out her emotions casually, and she doesn't use attachment as a default mode. Her distance isn't a flaw, a lack of feeling, or a failure to connect. It's a conscious choice. She measures when and how to engage emotionally because she knows that her energy is finite, and chaos is contagious. The right person sees this clearly. They don't misinterpret her composure and boundaries as coldness or incapacity. They recognize that her emotional distance is strategic, a tool she uses to protect clarity, focus, and self-mastery. They understand that she doesn't cling, overreact, or demand constant reassurance because she values precision over drama. Her feelings are deliberate, considered, and purposeful, not reactionary. When they encounter her quiet moments, they don't panic or try to force her to open up on a schedule. They respect her rhythm. They realize that love in her world isn't about constant proximity or validation. It's about depth, alignment, and the strength of connection when it truly matters. This perspective changes everything in a relationship. Instead of feeling neglected, the right person feels trusted. They know that she's choosing them, consistently and intentionally, rather than being pulled by default emotional impulses. They understand that closeness with her is earned and maintained through respect, patience, and shared values, not through clinginess or manipulation. Her emotional discipline isn't a wall, it's a filter that protects both of them from unnecessary turbulence. It ensures that the love she gives is powerful, unwavering, and purposeful. For the right person, this isn't intimidating, it's inspiring. They see in her measured distance a clarity of mind and strength of character that makes every genuine moment of connection far more meaningful than anything born from impulsive attachment. In short, her emotional distance isn't a signal that she can't love. It's proof that when she does, her love is precise, potent, and transformative. Number 8, your autonomy won't be seen as a threat. A Sigma female's independence isn't a flaw or a challenge to be overcome. It's the core of who she is. She doesn't seek permission, approval, or validation from others, and she doesn't measure her worth by how dependent someone is on her. The right person sees this clearly. They don't interpret her autonomy as a threat, a challenge, or something to control. Instead, they recognize it as a sign of strength, self-respect, and emotional maturity. They understand that her freedom to make her own choices, pursue her mission, and define her boundaries doesn't mean she is distant or detached. It means she is deliberate. They know that her loyalty isn't blind or automatic, but when she chooses to commit, it's grounded in respect, trust, and conscious alignment, not coercion or convenience. Her independence ensures that her relationships are genuine, no one can manipulate her, and nothing superficial can hold her. Instead of trying to tame her or make her conform to someone else's expectations, the right person values her autonomy as a foundation for trust. They understand that her ability to stand alone makes her capable of standing beside someone fully, freely, and loyally. They don't fear her self-sufficiency, they respect it, and they know it's precisely what makes her choice to stay so meaningful. Being with a Sigma female requires recognizing that freedom and commitment are not opposites. They are complementary. Her independence guarantees that the love, partnership, and loyalty she offers are intentional, deeply rooted, and impossible to take for granted. It's rare, powerful, and transformative, and for someone who truly understands, it's the most rewarding kind of connection imaginable. In essence, her autonomy isn't something to be managed. It's something to be celebrated because it ensures that everything she gives, every choice she makes to stay, and every moment she shares is authentic, earned, and irreplaceably real. Number 9. They won't try to outshine you. They'll match your frequency. A Sigma female moves through life with a clarity and intensity that draws attention naturally, but the right person doesn't feel threatened by her presence. They don't try to outshine her or compete for dominance in the spaces she owns. Instead, they understand that true connection isn't about eclipsing one another. It's about aligning energies and creating synergy. They bring their own strengths, ambitions, and brilliance into the relationship, but never at the cost of hers. There's no need for spotlight wars, comparisons, or subtle contests of power. They recognize that her light is not a threat to their own. It's an invitation to rise to the same frequency. This alignment doesn't just prevent friction, it multiplies the impact of both individuals. Together, they become stronger, sharper, and more capable than they could ever be alone. For a Sigma female, this is essential. She thrives with someone who complements her energy rather than attempting to dominate it. She doesn't need validation through comparison, and the right partner doesn't seek it either. Every action, every word, every decision they make respects the space she commands while simultaneously contributing to a shared, elevated rhythm. Being with someone who matches her frequency means feeling supported without being overshadowed, challenged without being undermined, and inspired without being pressured. It's rare because most people can't separate admiration from competition. But the right person understands that harmony comes from mutual amplification, not suppression. In this dynamic, her brilliance doesn't dim, and their brilliance doesn't fade. They coexist, feed off each other, and grow. It's a powerful, subtle kind of intimacy where both people feel fully themselves while creating something far larger than individual achievement. That's the rare quality that makes a Sigma female recognize a partner as truly aligned. They shine alongside her without ever casting a shadow over her light. Number 10. They'll share their vision without hijacking yours. The right person for a Sigma female understands that her mission is sacred and non-negotiable. They have their own vision, ambitions, and goals, and they pursue them with equal intensity, but they never try to override or reshape hers. They see her purpose as a parallel path, not a subordinate storyline or a backdrop for their own narrative. Instead of attempting to dominate or redirect her focus, they engage with her vision in a way that complements it. They offer support, insight, or collaboration where appropriate, but they never attempt to hijack her mission to serve theirs. They understand that alignment doesn't require compromise of identity. It requires mutual respect, strategic connection, and acknowledgement of each other's priorities. This balance creates a rare kind of partnership. Her path remains fully intact, and their path remains fully theirs. But the intersections between the two generate powerful synergy. Each person contributes without overshadowing the other, enhancing both missions while preserving the integrity of individual purpose. For a Sigma female, this is transformative. Most people unintentionally drain energy from her by inserting their own agenda into her life, making her choose between love and ambition. The right person, however, understands that true connection isn't about controlling her trajectory. It's about walking alongside her while advancing their own. In such a relationship, collaboration replaces competition, and mutual elevation replaces interference. Her mission doesn't have to pause, slow down, or bend, and neither does theirs. This is why the right partner becomes an asset rather than a burden. They enhance her focus, amplify her energy, and respect her autonomy, creating a partnership where two visions exist independently yet thrive together, stronger than they ever could alone. Number 11. They'll see your defenses as proof of value, not an obstacle. A Sigma female's defenses aren't flaws or barriers to be broken down, they're proof of her worth. She doesn't let just anyone in because she knows that her energy, time, and trust are valuable. The right person sees this clearly. They don't groan or complain that she's hard to read or that she keeps people at a distance. Instead, they recognize that her guarded nature is a reflection of her standards, intelligence, and the deliberate way she navigates life. They understand that earning a place behind her walls is not easy, and that's exactly what makes it meaningful. Her boundaries are not obstacles. They're a map showing exactly where respect, patience, and alignment are required. The harder she is to reach, the more intentional her loyalty and connection become once it's earned. This perspective changes the dynamic entirely. Instead of frustration, there's motivation. Instead of discouragement, there's pride. They don't try to force their way in or manipulate her defenses. They approach them with strategy, observation, and genuine respect. Every step forward is earned, and every moment of trust is a victory built on patience and integrity. For a Sigma female, this is rare. Most people are intimidated by strong boundaries or interpret emotional distance as rejection. The right partner, however, doesn't just accept her defenses. They admire them. They see her strength, her discernment, and her ability to protect her energy as evidence of her value, not as an inconvenience to overcome. Being with someone who approaches her this way creates a bond that is intentional, resilient, and deeply rewarding. She doesn't give access lightly, and they don't take it for granted. In this alignment, respect and effort are currency, and the connection that forms is unshakable because it's built on understanding, patience, and earned trust, rather than convenience or entitlement. Number 12. They'll step into your world without needing to rewrite it. A Sigma female builds her life deliberately. Her routines, her goals, her environment, and even her mindset are all carefully calibrated to serve her mission. The right person doesn't arrive with an agenda to reshape or improve it. They don't see her life as a puzzle to be solved or a world to be remodeled to fit their comfort zone. Instead, they step in with respect, curiosity, and the intention to understand her ecosystem as it is. They adapt to her rhythm rather than forcing her to adapt to theirs. They recognize that her choices, her habits, and her structures exist for a reason, and they honor that rather than imposing change. This is not passive acceptance, it's active engagement. They find ways to contribute, collaborate, and connect within her world without disrupting its flow or trying to bend it to their preferences. For a Sigma female, this is revolutionary. Most people instinctively try to rewrite what they don't immediately understand. They want to control, modify, or shape their partner's life to match their own vision. The right person does the opposite. They see her life as complete and functional, and position themselves to complement it, not compete with it. This approach creates a sense of safety and trust that allows her to operate at full capacity. She doesn't have to slow down, adjust excessively, or compromise her vision to maintain the relationship. Instead, she has someone in her life who navigates alongside her, enhancing her world without ever trying to dominate or distort it. Being with someone who can enter her world without needing to rewrite it is rare because it requires humility, awareness, and a deep respect for independence. For a Sigma female, that's the ultimate alignment. Someone who doesn't just tolerate her life as it is, but who actively chooses to integrate into it on her terms, creating a partnership that is empowering, seamless, and extraordinary. Real love for a Sigma female isn't casual, convenient, or superficial. It's rare, deliberate, and built to match her mission, not distract from it. It doesn't seek to control, diminish, or reshape her. It aligns, complements, and amplifies. The right person doesn't fear her independence, challenge her standards, or question her boundaries. Instead, they see every edge, every boundary, every carefully built wall as proof of her value and strength, not as something to overcome. They meet her in her world, respect her spaces, honor her mission, and engage with her as an equal. This love doesn't demand compromise. It inspires growth. It doesn't suffocate. It liberates. It doesn't seek possession. It fosters partnership. Every action, every choice, every shared moment is intentional, earned, and aligned with the depth, vision, and intensity she lives by every day. For a Sigma female, this is transformative because it's the kind of connection that doesn't just exist. It empowers, elevates, and magnifies her life. It's a love that fuels purpose, sharpens clarity, and strengthens loyalty, not because it controls her, but because it respects her. When it comes, it's unmistakable, undeniable, and unstoppable. Because it doesn't just meet her where she is, it rises with her to where she's meant to go. This is the love that doesn't ask her to shrink, bend, or compromise. It's the love that matches her frequency, her vision, and her mission. And once it arrives, everything changes. Not because the love is dramatic, but because it's real, extraordinary, and utterly aligned with who she is at her core. If this resonated with you, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss the insights that will change how you see relationships and life. Like this video if it spoke to you, comment below with your thoughts or experiences. Let's hear how you relate to these truths, and share it with someone who needs to understand the kind of love a Sigma female deserves. Every action you take here isn't just support, it's part of building a community that values strength, independence, and extraordinary connections. So don't hold back. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, and share this video. Let's keep this energy alive.